please, because we are at one of these make or break stages. So if it all goes wrong and your PCB goes wrong, where does that leave you? Well, you could argue it leaves you nowhere, but by the same consolation you could argue it doesn't make a huge amount of difference because you can always pick it up on Veriboard or breadboard, but if you do, you won't get so many marks, but you could still hand in your PCB printout and that would go some way towards mitigating it. Obviously you want to get your PCB made because you get to keep it afterwards and there's a sense of pride attached to it and everything. For that to happen, guys, can you keep the noise down please, because you're in here on sufferance. This is a book class, this one. I don't mind you working in here, but while we're doing vids, right? So you need to have that information to us, and at about 2 o'clock we're going to go upstairs and order those PCBs. There is no turning back from that. Your PCB will be ordered whether it's correct or incorrect. Now what can actually go wrong with that? Well, several things can go wrong with it. One of the primary things that can go wrong with it is trace width. So you're going to have tracks on there, and we saw a couple of examples already where those people were building boards with tracks that were so thin that you would need a very powerful microscope even to be able to see those tracks. So clearly either the manufacturing process itself wouldn't work because it would just be eaten away by the ferric chloride, the stuff that dissolves the copper, or when you've got it back it will be so difficult to solder to you'd never be able to do it. So trace width, that's one of the things that will catch you out, and you should be looking at, what would you recommend for that, Mike?
Minimum 10 thou.
Minimum of 10,000ths of an inch, which is the default in multi-sim. You can of course go bigger if you can go bigger. I know some of you are using through holes, some of you are using surface mount. It doesn't really matter, the rules are still pretty similar. Try and get that track width as big as you possibly can. Most of you are at a point where your circuits are ready for export to a PCB, and I've said it twice already, but now I'm going to say it and upload it on video as well. Well, that doesn't make a lot of difference because the cut-off is at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Your PCB needs to be on here. It needs to be in a zipped folder, and that folder, or the zipped folder, needs to have your reg number on it. Why does it need your reg number on it? Because we're going to have one last go when we go, we're going to check these and make sure that they are the Gerber files on there before we send them off to PCB Way. If they're not, we've got kind of an emergency session which will probably last for about a quarter of an hour, half an hour at 2 o'clock, when we'll send an email out to people and you've uploaded the wrong thing. Do you want to do something about it in the next 5 minutes? Otherwise you don't get your board. So in a zip folder, last week Mike did a lovely video of how you export from multi-sim and into your Gerber files that you're going to upload onto this pen drive. So you can just go to that video, it's on Woodo Woods on YouTube, and you can see how you can export those files. Put them on the pen drive in the root, you don't need to create a directory structure. Once it's on there, read it back again, check it's there, check the Gerber files, check it zipped properly, all the rest of it, and then plonk the pen, I call them pen drives, with memory stick back down here, and print and sign your name and put your reg number next to it on this piece of paper, and then we know who has asked for their PCBs to be made. What else can go wrong, Mike? No bill of materials.
No bill of materials, yep.
So, Malcolm standing over there putting stuff in the trays for you. Malcolm is going to order your components for you. He needs the bill of materials. We showed you last week. Gave you a video of it as well, so that's on Woodo on YouTube. We gave you a video explaining how to make your list of bill of materials. You only had 2 suppliers, Farnell and Rapid. You had your part number in there, blah, blah, blah. Most people have done that, and most people have done that quite well. You need to mail it to Malcolm. I dare say Malcolm would accept paper if you felt strongly about using paper. But you mail it to Malcolm here, and Malcolm will put those orders in. Now it's likely they'll go tomorrow, Malcolm. You're not doing it today.
No, it'll be tomorrow morning.
Okay, so tomorrow morning that will go off, so you do have a little bit of slack on that for the rest of the afternoon if you're still deciding which sort of switch you want or how big you want your LEDs or whatever. So you've got some slack on that, but you have no slack on the delivery of the PCB. Cut off, 2 o'clock.
Wrong footprints, John. Wrong footprints.
Wrong footprints. Thank you, Mike. That's another one. So on the list of things that can go wrong, so we said track width, that's a big one. That can make or break your design. The other thing that can make or break your design is you've got a big capacitor, so a 64,000 microfarad capacitor, and you put it on a surface mount, tiny footprint. It's not going to go on there. The component's too big for the footprint, or vice versa. The component's too small for the footprint. That's not the end of the world. We don't just throw the PCB in the bin, we find a way around that. And that's quite common in design. You will or can make mistakes on footprints. We can sort of get around them, but they don't look very elegant. We can solder wires on there, we can bend the legs round a little bit, we can play some tricks. But we don't want to do that. But there shouldn't be any excuse for it, because when you order the components, and again, a video that Mike made last week, you can read off the website from Farnell or Rapid, you can see what package it is. So when you select the footprint in multi-sim, you should be putting the same package down there. You've also got a virtualization, or a virtual picture of what the circuit looks like, and you should get some indication of whether that component looks like what you think it should look like. The young lady sitting over there earlier had surface mount SOIC 8 and had enough savvy to realise that what she put into her PCB design wasn't what she expected. So we had an iteration and went back there and changed the footprint, so that all ended okay. Questions? Are we mean giving hard deadlines like this? Of course we're mean. Of course we're mean. It's an MSc, right? But we have to do that because otherwise we're not going to, inside the time frame, be able to get your PCBs back ready to go. So by the end of the term, I'm hoping that most of you, or all of you, will have soldered your device together and it will be up and running. Okay, we can't do that inside the time frame, unless we get those boards off. Any questions? So think about what I've said. I'll upload this over the tea break, by the way, so you can watch this again if you're a little confused as to what I'm saying. Things that can go wrong: track width, footprint, not the right format on the pen drive. Anything else?
Make sure you export the right Gerber files, follow the video that we made.
Yep, so make sure you export the right Gerber files, watch the video that we made
Maximum
last week.
dimension, 100mm by 100mm.
That's right, that's another valid point. It doesn't have to be 100mm by 100mm, but you can't go any bigger than 100mm by 100mm. Now that's big, that's a big board, it's that square. Nobody is making something in here that needs a board bigger than that. Pretty sensible idea to put your name on the board, so put that on the silk screen so that when they come back, because we'll just get a big box like this, when it comes back there'll be a mad scramble for it and everybody will want their PCB. It's much easier if you've got your name on it, and then you don't have to rifle through all of them. Any other questions on getting those files to us? So what's going to happen afterwards? They won't be here on Tuesday, Monday. They won't be here on Monday, I can guarantee that. Will they be here by the following Thursday? Maybe. So what can you do in the meantime? Well, you can prototype what you're doing. I see some people already doing it on breadboard. Absolutely fine. But you've got the opportunity to do that. Try and refine your simulation a little bit. Start to do your write-up so you can use that session next Monday for those purposes. We are hoping by next Thursday that it will come in on air freight and we will be able to give you those boards. Almost certainly Malcolm will have those components within a day or 2 days of ordering, because Rapid is literally 3-4 miles away from here and they're all next day component delivery. So you keep your side of the bargain, we'll try and keep our side of the bargain. Obviously have constraints because of what's going on in the world at the moment. So the boards don't come with any absolute guarantees, but we're going to do our best to get them to you. Does anyone have any questions on that? But it's brutal. If you don't give us the information, you don't get your PCB. If you don't give Malcolm your component list, you don't get your components. If that occurs, the horror scenario occurs, can we get over that? Can we still get a pass for you in that particular assignment? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. But let's not go there, okay? Let's just try and keep this as clean as we can. Okay? By the silence.